We're going to turn now to the first of two interviews this evening ahead of Friday's referendum on marriage. As you heard from Barry Lenihan earlier, you'll be asked to approve or reject, adding the following words to Article 41 of the Constitution. Marriage may be contracted in accordance with law by two persons without distinction as to their sex. Now later we'll hear from Solicitor Eileen King, who opposes that change. First I'm joined by Michael Barron, who's the founder and director of Belong To, the support organisation for gay, lesbian, bisexual and transgender young people. He's advocating a yes vote on Friday's referendum. You're welcome to studio.
Thank you, Mary.
Why are you asking people to vote yes?
I'm asking people to vote yes because I've spent the last 15 years all across Ireland working with gay and lesbian young people and working with their families, with their parents and sisters and brothers, and just seeing how tough the last 15 years has been for them in terms of experiences of homophobic bullying in school, in terms of experiences of isolation in their own communities. And I think this referendum offers us an incredible opportunity to create the fair and equal kind of Ireland that we would like this generation and the next generation to grow up in.
But it's not a referendum about homophobia. It's about marriage. It's about who the state will allow to marry. Won't bullying still occur? Won't the events you talk about of the last 15 years still happen?
Absolutely, they will. But at the moment, Mary, inequality is enshrined in our constitution in the fact that gay and lesbian couples aren't allowed to marry. And we can see that the inequality in law and in our constitution actually has a day-to-day effect on the young people that we work with. And I would argue actually that as long as we enshrine inequality in our laws, that all the work we're doing to end homophobic bullying really is not going to succeed at all. We really need to level the playing field for the young people that we work on behalf of. And the ultimate way to level the playing field for any group is constitutional equality.
In reality, though, when the young people you're talking about, the LGBT young people, when they wake up on Sunday morning, if the yes vote has been carried on Saturday evening, I should say, will there be a real tangible difference to the lives that they live?
Not immediately, Mary, but it will take time. This is just one part of a process of, as former President Mary McAleese described yesterday, dismantling the architecture of homophobia. I think this is a really important point. I mean, for instance, Belong To became involved in this referendum campaign. In many ways, marriage isn't a young person's issue, but it is part of a broader social acceptance. And marriage is the only relationship that is recognised by the state in its constitution, and for this reason it's very important that young people are allowed to grow up with the same aspirations as their brothers and sisters. I mean, I've had young people all across the country talk in really simple terms about it, and parents, I was talking to a mother yesterday who has twins, one young woman and one young boy, and the young boy is gay and the young woman isn't, and she put it very simply that the young woman, when she grows up, can get married, she can have those aspirations, but the young boy can't, and that's just unequal and it's actually unfair. And I think this is our opportunity to be generous.
But is it unequal? You're a married man yourself. Your marriage is recognised in this country as a civil partnership. So is there anything that you don't have right now, any right or any entitlement, because the recognition is civil partnership and not marriage?
There is actually a very serious issue of social standing, actually, and I think at the moment, so for instance, I'm one of six. I grew up on a farm in County Kilkenny. I'm a rural farm boy, and my five siblings are all married, and they know they're married. We know they're married. It's a very important institution for them. Whereas myself and my very generous, wonderful husband got married in South Africa, and when we came home, our marriage wasn't recognised in a state. We got downgraded to a civil partnership, and we know that. I mean, we feel that. It's actually very real. It was interesting, just last year we were away on holidays in New York, and we were saying, oh my God, we're married while we're here, and then we came home again and realised we weren't married anymore. And I suppose I would appeal to people and ask people to think, who are married, heterosexual people, how would they feel if suddenly their marriage was downgraded to something that's less than and not equal?
So for you, it's not about legal rights, is it? It's about a psychological feeling?
Exactly, it's more than a psychological feeling. It's a psychological feeling, but it's also about what our state thinks of us. And I think that's extremely important. So our state at the moment believes that my marriage to my husband Jamie is not the same as my sister Ali's marriage to her husband Vincent. And that's just unfair. And I think that people really don't want that to be the situation.
Now, we saw earlier this week a huge increase in voter registration, especially among younger people. Do you think it's going to translate into votes at the ballot box on Friday? Will that vote come out?
We hope so, and actually we really think so, and we're working really, really hard to make it so. I mean, I think it's a phenomenal thing. I mean, we have seen voter registration on Obama-esque volumes in Ireland. It's actually phenomenal to have been part of it, and I'm very proud to have played a small part in it. But between the new voter registrations pre-Christmas and post-Christmas, we're talking in the region of 100,000 new people registered to vote, most of them being young, and I hope and I believe that most of them will be voting yes. It's an incredible social movement. The polls show that almost 90% of young people aged between 18 and 25 are in favour of equality and will vote for equality. This is a legacy that we're going to be leaving to our children and grandchildren.
We've had a lot of talk as well throughout the course of the campaign, and concern expressed, about children, about surrogacy, about assisted human reproduction. What do you say to voters who have those really genuinely held concerns about these issues, and because of them, they're inclined to vote no?
I would say that we all share concerns about those issues, but those issues have actually nothing to do with this referendum. I mean, the only children affected by this referendum are the gay children of Ireland. And if we, as a very conservative estimate, say that 7.5% of the population are gay, I mean, most people say 10, but if we say, for instance, 7.5%, we're actually talking about 75,000 real gay and lesbian young people living in Ireland. 75,000, that's an enormous number who are experiencing extraordinary levels of isolation and bullying. This referendum is about them. It's not about some imaginary young person that may be created at some point in the future. It's about the young people who are living in this country today who really deserve us to be more generous and deserve to live in a fair society.
But the children that the no side would say are entitled to a mother and a father.
Again, I would say that the Referendum Commission has said that this referendum isn't about surrogacy. Jeffrey Shannon, the chair of the Adoption Board, has said that our adoption laws will in no way change as a result of this referendum. This referendum simply isn't about that. This referendum is simply about equality for our gay and lesbian brothers and sisters.
All right. Michael Barron, thank you very much for coming into us. Michael Barron, founder and director of Belong To.